Broadcasting live on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Here's your host, Andrew Romanella.
Okay? Like, just get the hell out of here. Nobody cares what you think if you're not a Mets fan.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a Thursday edition of The Rome Show, broadcasting live on YouTube, Twitter, X, Instagram, and Facebook. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. It is December 18th, 2025. It is the final day, day 6 of the Rome Show Christmas giveaway series. So I'm really excited about that. And it is a football Thursday to the nth degree. The Miami Dolphins made a decision on their quarterback yesterday that we have to get into. It is Thursday, which means I give you my heading into week 16 top 5 teams in the National Football League. And then speaking of Thursday, we have our second to last Thursday night football contest tonight between two of the, not just the best teams in the NFC, two of possibly the best teams in the National Football League, between the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. So there is a lot of gridiron to get to today, and there's a lot of ways you can get in on the action. Head to youtube.com/the Romanellas. That's youtube.com/the Romanellas. Hit subscribe, like it, comment on it, share it with your friends, but subscribing and going to youtube.com/the Romanellas is vital. Comment live there. Twitter, X, and Instagram identical. The Rome Show, then the number 1. That's the Rome Show, then the number 1. Head over to Twitter, X, head over to Instagram, comment live there, or, and we call this the OG here, facebook.com/the Rome Show. Like I said, we urge everybody to please subscribe, please like, and please share the show. The Rome Show podcast exists wherever you listen to podcasts. It's a Rome Show Christmas. We're doing giveaways. Today is the last day of giveaways, so let's get it started. All right. Here's how this works. Any of the sites that I just mentioned, social media-wise, that you can get your hands on. If you have my cell phone number, you want to text me, okay? Answer the question. First person to answer this question correctly wins themselves the final Rome Show hoodie available on the docket. Here it is, okay? We are in the middle of NCAA basketball season, okay? And over the course of the last 10 years, 2 things have happened in the NCAA tournament that had never happened prior to 2018, happened once in 2018, and once again in 2023, okay? That was a 16 seed beating a number 1 seed. Can you name one of the 2 schools who is a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament to beat a 1 seed in the first round? If you can name one of the 2 schools that have been a 16 seed to knock off a 1 seed, and you are the first to answer, you will win yourself a Rome Show hoodie. Bonus to this question is, if you can name the 2 and who they knocked off, who the 2018 team knocked off, who the 2023 team knocked off. If you can name those 2 competitors, a Rome Show pen will be coming your way as well. I know, it's the holidays. It's giveaways all over the place. All right, first person to write in and give us the answer to that question is our 6th and final victor. Shout out to Connor. Shout out to TJ. Shout out to Mike. And shout out to Rich Those 4 have won so far in the Rome Show days of Christmas. Today's our last day. We have to get a winner off of our social media post. You know the drill. Follow all the social sites. You'll see it. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll be giving away that as well. All those items will be shipped out to get your year started by supporting the Rome Show. By the way, you don't have to win a contest to get a hoodie. Plenty of other people have just reached out to me, and I will get them a hoodie. There's some cost association there, okay? This is not the mothership, as Dan Patrick would call it, i.e. ESPN, the worldwide leader. This is far from, okay? This is more like the small business radio show. That's who we are. We are the sports talk radio show for the common man. We are the sports talk radio show for the small business owner. We are to be in the bodega on the corner of some street where the people are coming in, buying a bacon, egg, and cheese, grabbing a coffee, and going on to their hardworking job, to their I gotta grind to earn these bills job. That's the radio show that we are. We are the grind it out, do what we can for the common person, work the job, do it the right way radio show. That is who we are, and we appreciate the people supporting it. The Rome Show final day giveaway, answering which of the 2 teams can you name that was a 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. All right, let's get into the Miami Dolphins, because I am both satisfied with the decision being made by the Dolphins to bench Tua Tagovailoa and to start Quinn Ewers, rookie out of the University of Texas. And not only bench Tua, start Quinn Ewers, but also push Zach Wilson, former first overall pick for the New York Jetropolitans, first round pick a few years ago. Push Zach Wilson from QB3 to QB2, essentially giving the 2, I'm not going to say younger guys, because Zach Wilson was drafted 2 years after Tua, but give the 2 other dudes in the QB room a chance over the last 3 games of the season. I got a tweet here from Adam Scheffler that kind of gives you some idea of the position with which the Dolphins put themselves in with the Tua Tagovailoa contract a few years ago. It's one thing to have made the decision to draft Tua over Justin Herbert in the 2018 draft. That was already franchise malpractice by the Miami Dolphins. Leaving Justin Herbert to be drafted to the Los Angeles Chargers when you had the choice of him and or Tua, and there might have been somebody else in that draft that I think I would have been cool ending up with. Nonetheless, all you had to choose from was between Herbert and Tua, and you chose Tua. So that was the first mistake we made as a franchise. But in defense of Tua Tagovailoa, for 12 seconds here, in 2022, the Miami Dolphins made the postseason, and though Tua was hurt, also in 2023. Now, I think so do a lot of people, that had the Dolphins not drafted Tua in 18 and gone with Herbert, I'm not saying they would have won a Super Bowl, but with the addition of Tyreek Hill and some of the talent that this roster had over the course of the years 2021 to today, there should have been a whole lot more winning for this team than losing. So that was the first issue. Because you knew you were putting your offense and your franchise in a box with Tua as your quarterback once you drafted him over Justin Herbert, who could do a whole lot more things than Tua. Athletically, arm talent-wise, visual of the defense, all of those things. Tua was the prime person that we got enamored with during that run at Alabama because of what he did over Jalen Hurts and how good he was in college. Prime example of college football bias. And then the second mistake here was doubling down and giving him this contract. Tua's already has $54 million guaranteed to him in 2026. On the middle of March of 2027, $3 million becomes guaranteed. So here's how it's going to pay out. And if you cut him, you're $99 million on dead money. That's wild. So he's going to be a $54 million cap hit next year, a 30-something million dollar cap hit the year after that. And then after 2 more full seasons, not including 2025, then his cap hit drops to $3 million, where it then becomes a possibility to cut him without hemorrhaging your franchise's financials. But you're looking at one of 2 things here. You're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to have to eat a lot of money if you're the Miami Dolphins, because if you want to cut him and move forward over the next 2 years of that contract, you're going to have between $60 and $100 million of dead cap space money that you cannot afford. You're already probably traveling down the path of a breakup with Tyreek Hill. This is not a good place to be if you're the Miami Dolphins, and you did it to yourselves. There's no one else to blame here. And by the way, this is not a me coming on the microphone and just wanting to eviscerate Tua Tagovailoa. In fairness to Andrew Romanella, and I've played this clip on the show before, you can go back on a podcast, okay? Because I podcasted it before the draft in 2018 that I wanted Justin Herbert over Tua Tagovailoa. And then, like, months ago, replayed that clip on this very airwaves to prove to all of you that I am not some fugazi microphone guy, and I'm holding myself accountable either way, as I've come on here before and talked about how poorly I was at stating something. But I digress. I'm not bashing Tua. This is who he is. I would almost argue this isn't his fault. Right? Do you remember that old coach for the Arizona Cardinals? They are who we thought they were, and we let him off the hook. Tua is exactly who we thought he was. No one should be surprised by this. This shouldn't surprise anyone. He threw like one deep ball in his college career that we can all remember. And that is why I think it frustrates everybody. It's like this guy's always been a 10 to 20-yard passer. This guy's always been a glorified, to use terminology that people are going to understand, game manager with a little bit more talent. He's not Joe Flacco from the standpoint of zero athleticism, just going to be in the pocket. But he's not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, nowhere near it. He's like in the middle of everybody. You ever heard the statement, master of none? Like jack of all trades, whatever it is, it's like you're good at all, but you're not mastering anything. That's Tua. He's really solid at a lot of things, but he's not great at anything. And I think that, well, probably besides leadership and being a teammate, and I'm not discrediting those things, but we're talking about football talent right now. There's no behind the pocket. This dude's going to do this better than anyone every single day, and that's what's going to be the intangible for his team. The greatest quarterbacks, the dudes that are able to lead their team to the pinnacle, and that's in any sport, to be honest with you. But in this sport, at this position, you have to be exceptionally good at a few things. And generally that starts with reading a defense. Generally that starts with not turning the football over. Generally that starts with not being the reason that your team is not performing well, but being the reason that your team is performing well. To finish, this is the stat line on Tua Tagovailoa during the 2025 season: 190 yards per game through the air. He's got a 20 to 15 pass touchdown to interception ratio, and his QB rating is an 88.5. All things that are not even close to the par standard of being not an elite quarterback in the National Football League to being a good quarterback in the National Football League. And right now, Mike McDaniels, who is probably still coaching for his job, had no other choice but to figure out what he's got in the young rookie Quinn Ewers and to make the last 3 games matter meaningfully in a different manner than competing for the postseason. And I will finish my Dolphins straight off the roam with this. For 3 straight years, the Miami Dolphins have jumped out to a 1 and atrocious start. For 3 straight years, the Miami Dolphins have gone on a winning streak that makes you believe we're back in contention. Let's do this. It was just a slow start. And for 3 straight years, the Miami Dolphins have brought their fans all the way back, have brought excitement to the team, have given us reason to believe. And then every single year, the Miami Dolphins get to that point. They play a meaningful game, generally on primetime. They get slaughtered, and we all put our heads on the pillow that night going, why did I do this to myself? My brother said something about it yesterday, Rome Show podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. His exact quote was almost this: I am almost done with my fanship of team, and I'm going to be only fanship of sport. Because some of the things that the players on my team, that the organization, that the ownership, that the general manager, that the coaches do is so infuriating and frustrating that it's like, why am I wasting my time as a fan when I know the outcome here? I've seen this movie before. I haven't read a lot of books. I've read this one. So why am I going to subject myself to that when I got New York sports players that can't even show up to meetings on time? I got guys that are making the millions, putting the uniform on, caring less than the fan that has no chance of ever actually affecting this franchise's victory total. So it's tough. Every year you show up, you only get 5 months of this. If you really think about it with football, you get 8 weeks. But after 8 weeks, you're either in it or you're not. And for franchises like the Jets, franchises like the Browns, the Bengals, though they were in the Super Bowl in 2021, but still, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, it's like, dude, what am I a fan of? Like, seriously, what is there to grasp onto as a fan of some of these franchises? And you could double this over in every single sport. Some of these franchises need to do what I tell my players. You need to look in the mirror. You need to look in the mirror and reevaluate how much you care about this. Because if you're not caring as much as I care, we got a real problem here. And therein lies a lot of the issues. The great franchises in all of sports care more than anyone else that could buy a uniform, buy a ticket, or spectate their games. The ownership, the people inside the building, the players, they care more about greatness than any other person you'll ever come in contact with. And that is why the greatest franchises, no matter the sport, no matter the country or part of the world, are the greatest franchises. Because the people wearing the uniform at any level want the winning and the greatness more than anybody else that could ever cheer for that team. I'm hoping Quinn Ewers gives me and other Dolphins fans out there a reason to cheer as he begins his career as the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. We're just getting started here on the Rome Show on a Thursday. We take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I got the top 5 teams per rating, per Andrew Romanella. So you can take that for what it is. And then, of course, our Thursday night football preview. We are talking Rams at Seahawks. Trivia question number 6 is on the docket right now. 2 teams have made it to the NCAA tournament as a 16 seed and defeated a number 1 seed. Name one of those 2 teams. Bonus, Can you name the team that they beat? Bonus, can you name both teams and both teams that they've beat? It's a Rome Show Christmas. We're having a blast. Hope you're doing the same. Back after this.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Thank you for listening.
All right. Welcome back into the Rome Show here on a Thursday, December 18th, 2025, 7:36 in the state of New Jersey. It's a Rome Show Christmas for the people. Day 6 of our giveaway contest, final day of the giveaway contest. Answer the question. 2 teams, NCAA tournament, 16 seed over a 1 seed. Can you name one of those 2? Bonus, give me the entire gauntlet of teams, 16 over 1, and who they played and beat. And you can get yourself some bonus prizes. YouTube.com/The Romanellas, Twitter X, Instagram, The Rome Show 1, Facebook.com/The Rome Show for your ways to enter. We were talking to a Tagovailoa Miami Dolphins first half of the show. If you missed it, Rome Show Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Now it's time for Andrew Romanella's top 5 National Football League teams. Let's get it started with number 5. That would be the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is the first time all season that the 49ers have made it into Andrew's top 5 teams. They've been trending all year. I've been talking about this team and saying, hey, do not sleep on the 49ers, okay? They are silently winning out there in San Fran. I don't think anyone had real expectations for them. They deal with holdouts. They've been dealing with injuries. Who knows what Brock Purdy truly is, though the franchise paid him. And question marks felt more prominent than victories. Well, all the 49ers have done is they've gone 10-4. They've beaten good teams. They've beaten bad teams. They've dealt with injury, and they've dealt with more beyond injury. They're sitting at 11th in points per game at 21.1, and they're sitting at 11th in opponents' points per game at 15 given up per. This week they have, they outranked, that's the best way I could put it. Sorry, I lost my words there for a second. Buffalo, the Chargers, Jacksonville, Houston, and Green Bay on my list of teams, which is why they get the 5 slot. They're also 10th in the league in total yards. So though we are ranking them 5th in the National Football League, they really are numbers-wise more like the 10th or 11th best team. But I think that's why I feel so good about this team, because they just find a way to win. And they're only getting better as the year goes on. Those are the scary teams. 49ers are number 5 team. Numero cuatro. That would be the team, one of the 2, playing tonight, the Seattle Seahawks. They're the number 4 team on our list. Some of their numbers show more than that. Nonetheless, total yards, 9th in the league. They are 5th in the league in points per game at 24, and 2nd in the league defensively, giving up only 13.7 points per game to their opponents. Though they sit at 11-3, they are tied for first place with the Los Angeles Rams, losing that tiebreaker because of the division record going to the Rams at 3-1 over the Seahawks at 2-2. The last 3 weeks offensively has not been great for the Seahawks team. And though they have arguably the best wide receiver in the league, and they have arguably the best defense in the league, it's hard for me to believe they are the best team in the league, especially at this given moment, because there are still things left to be desired on the offensive side of the football. But if you came into this year and you said, Romo, fast forward to week 15, Seahawks are top 5 team in the league, I'd be like, you're funny. That's funny. There's no chance that's a real thing. But sure enough, here we are. And it all starts on the defensive side of the ball. One thing you'll notice about all 5 teams in this top 5, they're really good defensively. Yeah, obviously they're pretty good offensively too. You're not going to be ranked on anyone's list in America as a top 5 team if you're not doing something well on both sides of the football. That's common sense. But these teams are good at defense. Seattle Seahawks are really good at defense, arguably the best in the league. That's why they're our number 4 rated team.
3.
Dwayne Wade. Yeah, our Dwayne Wade team would be the New England Patriots. They were our number 1 ranked team last week. However, that loss against the Buffalo Bills had us flipping this number. So I got the Pats now at number 3. We talked about their strength of schedule last week. That's something that gives me a little bit of pause, as you saw when they played the Bills. Now, they're 1-1 against the Bills this year. So it's not like that's what it's going to be moving forward. The Pats are a good enough football team. They've proven it to beat the Bills. I think that was more or less, you're on a 10-game winning streak. You really haven't played the best teams in the league. And the Bills have a little bit more experience in those big games, gotta win them moments. Now, in the playoffs, especially against the Chiefs, so the Bills won't have to go through them this year, they haven't been able to figure it out. Okay, but in the regular season, the Bills are always up for most of the big moments that they play in. Okay, that gave me enough pause on the Patriots to say, I'm not about to drop them out of the top 5. I'm not going to overreact to this loss, but they're more or less a 3 or a 4 when it comes to some of the best teams in the league. When it comes to the numbers, they're 6th in total yards, 7th in points per game, and 7th in opponents' points per game. So they're doing what they need to do. Yesterday, we talked about the Spurs being a legit contender. What does that even mean? Well, there are different criteria in different sports. One of them I think that matters for me in the National Football League is being a top 10 defense and a top 10 offense scoring. Okay, those 2 numbers matter. I mean, it's straight point blank, period. We give up 20 and we score 30 plus 10 on your points per game ratio. That's probably a good place to be. We give up 27, we score 22. You suck as a football team. I mean, it kind of is in some ways, not all. In some ways, that's simple. I got the Patriots as our number 3 team, sitting at 11-3 and tied at the top of the AFC. Number 2. Yeah, that would be the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are a little bit of an anomaly. The reason I think that they're so good is because they are giving up like 12 points a game on defense. They're so good defensively, and that has been a major reason, and they're so good in the fourth quarter. They have like 7 fourth quarter victories this season where they were down at some point in the fourth quarter. But the Broncos defensively are a really good football team. Sean Payton, well-coached football team. But offensively, when you look at the numbers, 11th in total yards and 12th in points per game at 22.9. I don't know if that's an indictment on they're not necessarily going to be one of the 10 best offenses in the league, or if this is just a slow starting unit. I don't know what the answer is. Or is this just who they are? There's probably a few different options it could be. But right now, they're finding a way, and they're led by their defense, which gives me the belief, for the point, to go back to the point I just made about how important defense is. That's the leading charge for this Broncos team, and they have the ability to be a really good offense, which I think can start to click as they roll down their schedules here. Okay, and you get 3 weeks left in the season, and you start to get to the postseason. But defense travels, defense plays. A lot of people say defense wins championships, At the end of the day, you need your defense to keep yourself in it so you can make one of those drives, kick one of those 60-yard game winners, game tires. And the Denver Broncos have that. They're our number 2 team. Let's finish with the number 1.
Uno.
You should have known this. It's the Los Angeles Rams. They're the best team in the league, in my opinion. They're 11-3. 3 teams sit at 11-3. 1 team at 12-2. That's the aforementioned Denver Broncos. But why are they not over the 11-3 Rams? Because the 11-3 Rams are second in total yards, second in points per game, and 4th in opponents' points per game. They're really good. Okay? They're top 3 defense. Top 3 offense. They have the most valuable player in Matthew Stafford on their team, besides all of the plethora of weapons that exist for this team on the offensive side of the football. They're the most complete football team, I believe, in the National Football League. There's no reason why anybody shouldn't feel really good if they were going to put their bananas down on any team in the NFL. It should be the Los Angeles Rams. They are your TRS number 1 team heading into the Week 16 slate of National Football League games. Speaking of the Week 16 slate, we are going to get you started with a preview of Thursday Night Football, the first game on the Week 16 slate. Right after this commercial break, friendly reminder, it's a Rome Show giveaway day. If you have the answer to our trivia question, write it in and you win yourself a Rome Show hoodie. 2 teams, 16 seeds, NCAA tournament, defeated 1 seeds in the history of the NCAA tournament. Can you name one of those 2 teams? And for bonus, can you name the team they knocked off? Write us in on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Rome Show, back in a minute.
What is one thing every great leader has in common? They challenge their people to not stop at the first right answer. Tighten the Lug Nuts is a leadership book that will teach you how to move past the first right answer with entertaining and detailed examples founded in real-world concepts and experiences. Accelerate towards your professional goals with Tighten the Lug Nuts, one of the best leadership books available.
Welcome back into the Rome Show here on a Thursday, December 18th, 2025, 7:47, state of New Jersey. Andrew Romanella with you here. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. Hope you're enjoying it. It's a Rome Show giveaway, Rome Show Christmas, Day 6 giveaway. We are looking for the answer to the question. 2 teams in the history of the NCAA tournament have been ranked as a 16 seed and defeated a number 1 seed. Can you name one of those 2 teams for the chance to win a Rome Show hoodie? If you are the first person to answer correctly, no, ladies and gentlemen, the St. Peter's Peacocks were not a number 16 seeded team. They were a number 15 seeded team. And though they made an electric run to the Elite 8, St. Peter's, state of New Jersey, represent Jersey City, go Peacocks. They were not a 16 seed. We are looking for one of 2 teams, 16 seed NCAA tournament, to defeat a 1 seed. You can write in on YouTube, write in on Twitter X, write in on Instagram, or write in on Facebook the answer to that. If you can tell me who they beat, you will win more than just a hoodie on a very Rome Show Christmas. Let's finish this show with a little Thursday night football preview. We have the Rams at the Seattle Seahawks tonight. We've already given you a little bit of information on both of these teams because both of them showed up in our top 5 National Football League teams. If you missed it, we just did it prior to the commercial break. The Rome Show podcast, wherever you get your podcast. The Seahawks and the Rams are 2 of the top teams in the NFC. Currently, the Rams are the number 1 seed. The Seahawks are the 5th seed and in a wild card. They're both 11-3. So the winner of this game will be in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. Now, this matters a lot, but differently for both teams. What do I mean by that? Well, the Seattle Seahawks, their remaining schedule is significantly harder than the Los Angeles Rams. The Seahawks, after playing the Rams in week 16, will play the Panthers in week 17 and the 49ers in week 18. So right now, if you're the Seahawks and you truly want to control your destiny with a difficult schedule remaining, you got to find a way to beat this Rams team tonight on Thursday Night Football. Because when you look at the Rams schedule, after they play the Seahawks tonight, who is the hardest team remaining on their schedule, they will face the Falcons in week 17 and the Cardinals in week 18, 2 teams with a combined 7 victories. So the path for the Rams to the number 1 seed, probably not just in the NFC West, but in the entire NFC, is significantly easier than the Seahawks. Now, the Seahawks are hosting this game at home tonight, where they are 5-2, and they are favored in this game by 1.5 points, hoping the 12th man can play a factor. But this is how good the Rams are. They're 5-2 on the road this season. And we've seen their 2 bad road losses. Okay, one of them was 2 weeks ago to the Carolina Panthers. But nonetheless, 2 very similar teams. We have a top 5 scoring offense on both sides and a top 5 scoring defense on both sides. You're going to give the nod to quarterbacking to the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm going to give the nod to coaching to the Los Angeles Rams. Schedule favors the Rams. A lot outside of home field today tilts in the Rams' favor. Gigantic game for both teams. I think if you're the Seahawks, you really got to get this offense going in the right direction. It can't take you till the second half to get Jackson Smith and Jigba going. We got to get him touches early. Can we get Kenneth Walker going in the run game and Chardonnay and all these other things? We got some talent here, okay? We got some weapons. This can be an explosive offense. It's proven it. 24 points per game, proven it. Okay? But if you are the Rams, I'm not saying you lock up the NFC West and the NFC number 1 seed with this victory tonight, but man, do the percentages completely change because of the difference in schedule. I'm going to take the Rams at the plus 1.5 in this game. The over-under is 42.5, and everything in my being says take the under. 2 great defenses, but it's Thursday Night Football, and it could be 2 great offenses, right? So I actually am going to take the plus 1.5 with the Rams. Give me the Rams and the points, and I'm going to go over the 42.5 and believe that offense is going to prevail. Before we leave here, I want to give one more live chance for somebody to win the final Rome Show giveaway. Your trivia question is this: 2 teams, NCAA basketball tournament, ranked 16, defeated a number 1 seeded team. Can you name one of those 2 16 seeded teams? And for bonus giveaway, can you tell me who they beat? It's a Rome Show Christmas here, and I hope people are enjoying it. It's Thursday. You have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll be back tomorrow with a Friday frenzy of everything we could possibly do. If you think you have the answer to our trivia question, write in on all the social media sites. I'm Andrew Romanella. Thanks for tuning in today. You have a fantastic day. Might I even say, I hope it's an electric day. Andrew Romanella. Peace!
Thank you for listening.